I'm standing just off of Moats Lane in Muhlenberg County, where emergency services arrived this morning around 2 a.m. and they actually have just cleared the scene. Now, 9 people have been confirmed to be dead, while 2 remain at Vanderbilt Hospital. Now, the gas tax in Kentucky is constantly changing. The state legislature has a formula. As the wholesale price of gas goes up, so does the tax. Well, in January, for the first time in a few years, the price actually went down 1 cent. If you get a closer look, a 2x6 piece of wood has slashed through the trailer right there. Bowling Green area is known for 2 things, caves and cars. And this morning around 5:44 a.m., those 2 things collided here at the Corvette Museum. And they're also using drones to hover over their fields to get a new look at their crops. One of their pipes ruptured this morning, causing an explosion that left a crater that is 60 feet deep and 50 feet wide. So there's actually still some caution tape laying on the foundation of the house next to some burnt wood near the front door. The past few weeks, the staff at the National Corvette Museum has been on an emotional roller coaster ride, and this morning that ride hit one of its peaks. The first of 8 cars was finally removed from the giant sinkhole that swallowed the Corvettes on February 12th. Once the 2009 ZR1 was safe above ground, officials decided to put it to the test.
We're going to fire it up.
That's right, the battered car started and drove the few hundred feet to its temporary display 1 room over.
It's already in place out in the museum as is, and for people to take a look at. So come on out and see the first one out of the hole.
Cheers could be heard echoing throughout the walls of the facility, but the celebration was short-lived. It was back to work an hour later, and this time the car meant for extraction was turned upside down. Officials rigged it up similar to the first car, and the result was the same, a successful removal. However, tomorrow marks a tougher task as construction officials eye the 3rd car to be taken out of the hole.
It looks like there's some concrete pressed up against it that'll have to be removed about the same time that the car is moved.
That slab weighs 10 tons and could cause major stability issues inside the sinkhole if not handled properly. Officials at the Corvette Museum say at least 1 car remains buried beneath the rubble, and they haven't seen it since the sinkhole first collapsed. They do add, however, that their main focus right now is getting 1 car out at a time. Reporting at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Jake Boswell, WBKO.
It's not how a jet is used to moving, but the NASA T-38 Talon rolled its way to Aviation Heritage Park last night. Our Jake Boswell went along on the journey and tells us why the historic jet is something people in Bowling Green can brag about.
Rolling down the road at 2 miles an hour isn't exactly where a plane is meant to be, but that's where the T-38 Talon found itself last night as it was moved from the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport to Aviation Heritage Park.
Straight. We hand selected this one specifically because it's got a fantastic history. It's been flown by every Mercury astronaut, every Gemini, every Apollo, every man who walked on the moon.
After making its way down Scottsville Road around 10 p.m., the plane hits the 2-lane pavement of 3 Springs Road, where things get a little tighter.
You got it. It's clear over here.
A few squeezes and close calls later, the jet is at Basil Griffin Park.
It's got to be red, white, and blue.
Where the Toyota Tundra pulling it is swapped out for a John Deere tractor. Anticipation of the final few feet causes excitement among those who've waited so long for this moment.
It's such a beautiful plane in itself, and I know that all the people that come by to see it, it will be an inspiration to them.
Over some grass and onto its concrete pad, the plane is being moved carefully, inches at a time. It's wheeled back and forth a few times until everything looks just right.
That's dead on almost.
Months of planning and restoration finally coming to an end as the plane is temporarily locked into place.
Looking good. Fantastic. The paint had faded, and there was some work that had to be done. All the decals and striping had to be replaced. So it took us quite a bit of effort to bring it up to speed.
It may have only taken a couple of hours and a few miles, but there's no longer any doubt the T-38 Talon is exactly where it's meant to be. In Bowling Green, Jake Boswell, WBKO.